What's up, everyone? We're having a kind of rainy and dreary day here today, and my Chihuahua King always gets a little bit anxious when it starts to rain. So I was about to give him some CBD to help with his anxiety, and I thought this would be the perfect time to talk to you guys about what CBD really is and some of the key things to know about it. You guys know that I've been a full-time professional pet sitter and dog walker for over 9 years. And over the years, I have gotten tons of questions from clients about how they can help with their dog's anxiety, especially when it's raining outside or when there may be fireworks or separation anxiety when they're going to be gone from the house for a long time, or even anxiety on a long car ride. And I am constantly recommending CBD for all of these things and many other things. And clients always have questions when I recommend CBD. They always ask, won't that make my dog stoned? And no, it will not make your dog stoned, but it will help with these things. I mean, I have literally seen CBD change pets' lives. And quite honestly, it's changed my own life. I use CBD personally. But this video is not about CBD for humans, it's about CBD for pets. But before I get into what CBD actually is and some of the key things to know about it, I would love it if you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with my weekly content. So let's start with the elephant in the room. CBD does come from the marijuana plant. But unlike the pot that we smoke, these plants are specifically bred to have high levels of cannabidiol and low levels of THC. And when you're giving CBD treats or tinctures to your pets, you want to read the label and make sure that they have less than 0.3% of THC. You do want the treats or oil to have that little bit of THC though, because of what is called the entourage effect. And basically what this means is that there are over 100 different compounds within the marijuana plant, and if you take out one of those compounds entirely, then the other compounds will not work as well. So you still need that tiny bit of THC to make the CBD do what it's supposed to. And where this really comes into play is the type of CBD. And there are 3 main types. So there is full spectrum, broad spectrum, and what's called isolate. And what you want to look for is called full spectrum. The full spectrum is what includes that tiny bit of THC. Now that being said, it is important to note that the CBD industry is completely unregulated. So you really need to do your research before choosing a product. Of course, start with reading the reviews and asking for recommendations and watching videos like this. But then when you're actually getting into the nitty-gritty of the products, you want to make sure that the product is being tested by a third party and that it's coming with a certificate of analysis. And on that certificate of analysis, you want to make sure that they are using a CO2 extraction method, and you want to see if there are any pesticides present. That's just to start. You know, I'm not a veterinarian, I'm not a doctor, none of this is medical advice or anything like that, but that is just what I know that you need to be looking for. You do not want CBD that is extracted with a solvent, because some of the cheaper brands will use a solvent that will still be present within the actual CBD itself instead of using that CO2 extraction method. And you don't want the solvent in there, and you don't want pesticides either. Another thing to look at is what carrier oil is being used. CBD itself is highly concentrated, so after it's extracted from the plant, it's mixed with what's called a carrier oil. And a lot of good brands will use things like hemp oil and coconut oil, while some of the cheaper brands will use stuff like olive oil. Another common question I get from clients is how much CBD should I give my pet? And the general rule of thumb is 1 milligram per 10 pounds of body weight. Now, that's the general rule of thumb, but I always suggest starting with a very small dose and then working your way up until you get the desired effect. Now, it usually takes about 30 to 45 minutes for the CBD to take effect, but every dog is a little bit different. So some dogs it may take effect in about 30 minutes and some dogs may take over an hour. And on that note, you really don't want to give CBD with food because the food will slow the absorption of the CBD. Now, some pets, you may need to mix it into a little bit of food, or you may need to put the oil on a treat or something. That's fine, just know it may take a little bit longer to take effect. But you saw with King here, I was able to just give him the oil straight into his mouth and it was fine. And you can also buy treats with the oil already mixed in them. And there are all kinds of other ways that you can administer CBD. Now, I have tried a lot of different CBD brands over the years, and there are some good brands out there and some not so good brands out there. But recently I have been using this Petals and Tails brand, and I have been really impressed. I mean, it's a high quality product, and what you get for the price in relative terms is really good. And they actually sent me these treats and this oil and some CBD lavender shampoo to use with turkey. And like I said, I've just been really impressed. And they are offering 15% off to any of you guys with the code DOUG15. So I will put the link down in the description below so you can click and check out their website. And remember to use the code DOUG15 at checkout. I really hope you have a better understanding of what CBD is and how it can be used to help benefit our pets after watching this video. Again, there's just so many applications for CBD. I use it for King when it's raining outside. I use it for pets when I'm on the long distance pet transportation gigs that you've seen here on the channel. It really helps with turkey's allergies. The CBD shampoo helps with that. There's just so many different applications for it. I would love it if you ask me questions down in the comments below. Again, I'm not a veterinarian, I'm not a scientist or anything, but this is something that I am passionate about, and I am really excited to be working with Petals and Tails. I'm Doug the Dog Guy from Bad to the Bone Pet Care, reminding you to stay positive.